The Producer's Day starts, for me, for the All Things Considered program at the 9:15 meeting. I come in and I meet with the editors. I find out what stories are expected to air on All Things Considered this afternoon, what news we're pursuing, and what stories they want us, what interviews they want us to pursue for All Things Considered this afternoon. What stories can Tom Cran bite off with just one voice, one guest on the phone. Tom Cran and Sam Chu, my teammates, come in about 10:30 in the morning. We have a team meeting saying, here's all the stories we're getting, here's the interviews that we've been asked to do, and then we ask the most critical, important question of the day is, what else do our listeners need to know?
Let's see, Steve Nelson stopped over earlier, talked about yesterday's show. He did not hear the Mayor of Zembro Falls, but we all agreed the Mayor of Zembro Falls was fascinating yesterday.
Yep.
Good. And high praise for the shred the Canadian music. Oh, that would be good. New another great game. I haven't heard how long this is going to be. I don't know.
What it takes to be a good producer is looking ahead, and this will sound basic, but it is not. Looking ahead to see how all the parts are going to fit, and make sure that everything you have fits where it's supposed to, and that things go well next to each other and after each other and all of that. Now, that's the daily kind of mechanics of putting the show on the air. But what it really takes is a sense of what the listener wants to hear. You have to put yourself in that position. I'm in the car. I'm at my office. I'm at home getting dinner ready. And what is this going to sound like when it comes out of the speaker? And that's what Jeff had.
So we're going to finally play the Michelle Norris interview. She's appearing tonight with Tom at the Humphrey Institute. So we'll turn that into a full segment, play it once or twice. And we have Polygraph with Catherine Richards.
If we could take the debrief Tim was going to do and turn it into a long intro to Mark Style.
Yeah, we could do that, or did he have tape?
I don't know.
Cut and copy.
I wonder how that flood's going.
Right.
And I would like to give them an answer to that, even if their answer is, hey, not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, or not as bad as it was yesterday.
And then we'll elevate, have Mark Style do his thing, the deep dive.
Congress must define what a significant amount means. The Senate and House have bills to set aside 80% of the fines for Gulf restoration.
Right, Sasha's story.
Environmental Protection
Ready for this?
Administrator
Yes.
Lisa Jackson.
5 minutes and 10 seconds.
What?
So
we have a 1C.
If they take it all the way to 19, we just need to start the credits, all right? So Cliff, if they take this all the way to the end, we don't have time for Tom to forward promote. So just go right to the underwriter.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Maybe that's the way to do it. Just turn into a long intro,
Right.
especially if we could get a cut of tape from
A couple
somewhere.
of roads that are still closed and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Let's do that with
No bridges open in Scott County, apparently.
no bridges open in
That's
Scott
what
County. If you're in Scott County,
It's now requiring
Cliff, how much time here?
Division I athletes to be tested for the
4
gene
minutes
of
left.
sickle cell anemia. It's a
In
condition that in this country
4,
predominantly
3,
affects African Americans,
2,
and testing
1,
for it has
Mark.
historically been
support for the more progressive side on those social issues. It's not runaway, it's not 60, 70%. But they're
Then a 15-second promo. Your debrief with Tim Nelson is self-contained, so you're off the hook there. And if we have time, I'll put a stinger in before the You and Care story, because those are pretty different topics.
Yes, that is true.
We're going from Jacob Wetterling to a new play at the Guthrie. Nice to have a musical palate cleanser.
There are certain things that only perpetrators know, and we want it to remain that way.
Yeah, Sanders said this summer that a neighbor.
We can let him in here.
Well, new census data out on poverty in Minnesota. Those numbers next here on All Things Considered from Minnesota Public Radio News.
Programming is supported by Saturn Systems of Duluth. Celebrate
Back in the studio. Bring you more cloudy backwash over
It's going to be a hard post at 5:50. Sorry about that.
5:50.
Yeah, it hung in there, Tom. Backwash from a little weather disturbance off to the east in Wisconsin today. And, I'm looking at the weather map right now, and there's a lot of different weather going on in Minnesota.
We do so many news interviews. They all tend to run together. It's the sort of fascinating guests that we get on that aren't about the news. I remember a day, this is back in the old building, where we interviewed Studs Terkel. It was a couple years before he died, and his headphones, the man was almost deaf, his headphones were so loud that every question Tom Cran asked him across this high-quality phone line to Chicago were coming back loud and clear through Studs Terkel's microphone. So you'd hear Tom ask the question, and then you'd hear it come right back. And this was killer. You couldn't put this on the radio. And I figured out a way to throw a couple of patch cords in the right way and have two separate recordings so that we had one computer recording Tom Cran, one computer recording Studs Terkel, and then I put those two in and had to mix them just right. And that was just a fun challenge. My favorite days are the days where I can solve a problem that I didn't anticipate earlier in the day. And the listener is none the
So
wiser.
you can promote the C segment if you wish.
Misdiagnosed as having heat exhaustion, but in fact they're having sort of a sickle crisis, and their muscles are aching.
I'm sorry, I'm tweeting in here.
Are you tweeting? Are you communicating with your other fans?
All 100, what are we up to? 196 fans. Maybe it's time to do another shout out to all my
that did not screen for sickle cell disease among all
Tipping over the 200 mark.
Should we give a prize to
We
your,
hit critical
your
mass.
200th Twitter follower?
Grand Minnesota Public Radio News. Stay tuned next for Marketplace. It is on the way here on Minnesota Public Radio News. Good day on Wall Street today. The Dow up 46.
I'm successful if the listener didn't think once about what was going on behind the scenes. If they hear papers ruffle, if there's an awkward pause on the air, listeners are thinking about, gosh, what's going on in that studio? If the listener is just able to think about the conversation, feel a part of the conversation, be inspired by whatever they heard, and they're not thinking about any of the stuff that I'm doing, then I've done all that stuff really well.